While the set of The Lion King brings you to Pride Rock, one of the actors is from the home of rock and roll. We're joined by Rob Sapp of Solon. Thank you so much for joining us, Rob.
Thank you for having me.
Now, first, tell us about your journey from Solon to the Serengeti.
Well, I went to Solon High School, where I was involved in the drama program there and the choir program, which propelled me into education. I got my BFA in musical theater at Syracuse University, and then I moved to New York City, and it's brought me back home.
Tell us what it means to you to be someone who has performed on some of the most coveted stages, and now you're coming to Playhouse Square and putting on a performance for your friends and family back home.
It gives me goosebumps to think about, because I spent so many years coming down to Playhouse Square in these gorgeous theaters and watching people do what I dreamed to do, and knowing that now I get to do it and possibly inspire a new generation of performers. It defies words.
You play Ed, one of the hyenas, and personally my favorite because he reminds me of my dog, where, sometimes the brain cells are a little missing, but with Ed, he's just that comedic relief and such a sweet character.
He's wild and he's silly and seemingly lovable to the audience, but he's very dangerous.
He's a predator.
He's a predator, and he's hungry. And what he wants most is to, have his next meal.
Tell us how you get into character, because you're using these gorgeous puppets to really bring those characters that you fell in love with on screen to life on stage.
I mean, most importantly, I make sure that my voice and my body are both warmed up, because it's so vocally demanding and physically demanding. And then I tap into all the things that I spent weeks and weeks rehearsing when I was first learning the show, which is like, how does an animal, this particular animal, breathe? And what are the, physical movements that you would, that would be natural and organic to that animal. And I'm always recalibrating and always rediscovering. And, sometimes it'll be late at night and I'm going on YouTube and I'm watching like a nature program, like, watching hyenas hunt or watching hyenas play. There's just endless possibilities of rediscovery.
Now that you told us how you get into character, can you show us?
Sure, yeah. You'd mentioned a little bit about the puppets. The designs and the costumes and the masks are such a feat of artistry, and it really blurs the line between human and animal. But the way the hyenas, because we're four-legged creatures, we have to actually stand in this like sort of squatted position. So these are our hind legs, and then our arms become our front legs as well. So we spend the majority of the show in this position while we're sort of manipulating the puppet, and it is a full body workout.
I feel it right now, in heels here. So to do an entire performance of The Lion King on stage at Playhouse Square in this positioning, truly that's a feat in itself. But truly to be coming home to your friends and your family, getting to watch you on Playhouse Square stages, coming in from the world's #1 musical that's been on Broadway for nearly 30 years, is truly just something that we need to give you that standing ovation for. So Rob, thank you for telling us so much about your story. And we're also going to be learning more about those costumes. We are now backstage at Playhouse Square, where you can see The Lion King on stage now through August 16th. And I have the honor of being joined by the assistant stage manager, Karen Parlato. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for coming.
Now we are surrounded by what feels like endless costumes back here.
We have, if you counted every piece, every sock, thousands of costume pieces. Some of the hardest working people in the building are our wardrobe crew, who are constantly putting them on and off actors during the show, switching them out for different people who perform. And it is a real dance that is coordinated by our people, and then a whole army of local dressers. There's 16 of them that are actually dressing all the actors constantly throughout the show. That doesn't include the puppets. There's about 200 puppets. Some of them are specific to specific people, so we have lots of, spares and stuff that have to travel with us. And then our props and our scenery, it's 17 trucks worth of stuff that it takes to put on the show, and a couple hundred people, I would say.
About how many cast members does it take to wear those puppets and, as you said, thousands of pieces of wardrobe on stage?
We have dozens of people on stage. There's just under 40 who are on stage in every performance. performance, and then we have about 50 on average that are traveling with the show at any given time, covering all the various roles and ready to go on at a moment's notice for the different roles.
The Lion King is about the circle of life, and you have made it full circle by returning to Cleveland after The Lion King was last here, right after the pandemic. So tell us what it means to be back and be welcomed in Cleveland.
Yeah, it's very special to any of us who were here at that time because of just how emotionally charged that whole situation was, and having been out of work for so long and not knowing if it was going to work out, could the shows reopen safely. And so just to have everything have worked out and to be back is great. But for me, it's especially powerful because I started with that reopening process. So I didn't know anything about The Lion King before I walked in this building, and in this building I was taught everything that I needed to know to do the show. And now I've had almost 5 years to get better at it, because it really is the kind of show people say like 5 years on The Lion King is about 1 year on any other show in terms of how well you know the show by the time you get to that point, that it takes a really long time to learn all the pieces and what's going on, really. One of the things I love about my exact job on the show is that I'm responsible for how we use the audience as part of our story, and the actors being among the audience and the puppets and everything out there, and how it's going to work, which in every theater is completely different. Every backstage is kind of a box. Sometimes it requires a little bit of work. This is a giant, beautiful big box that we can just put everything where we
Playhouse
want.
Square is gorgeous to be in.
Yeah. But the good thing is I get to be out there when the audience is seeing the whole thing happen, and I get to see it up close and watch them watch the show. A lot of times we'll end up out there for Circle of Life just to be part of that whole experience. That 5 minutes never gets old, no matter how bad of a day you're having. We say, go out and watch Circle of Life.
Well, thank you so much, Karen, for telling us about how we need to see this up close at Playhouse Square through August 16th. Your time is running out, so we want to be sure that you get to experience the beauty of the story that is The Lion King.